Yeah, good morning, guys, and welcome to today's class. Today we'll be building an LMS registration form, which is something you are going to eventually use along the line, and basically you have to get acquainted to it. We'll be building a form on our own end and comprising everything we have learned so far. So today is more like a practical class into what we have learned so far, and also into bringing in more concepts into the class. So yeah, basically we over the past few classes we have had, we talked about HTML, which we mentioned that is the structure of the website and of every web page, which everyone is familiar with. And today we'll be going deeper into HTML alongside building a website with HTML, which we all want to do. We don't have to be learning in isolation. So if you have any question, you know the rules, just raise up your hand or drop it in the chat box. Definitely I'll respond to your question. So this is it. First, we'll be having our header. Inside our header, we'll be having a navigation. Which is, for our header, we just use, on an header tag, what is mostly on an header is your navigation bar, which includes a logo and a link, which is what we are going to be having currently now. Please also confirm you can hear me. I don't want to be speaking to myself. Just drop a message in the chat box if you can hear me. So in our header, we'll be having our navigation bar, which is also a semantic tag, which nav is a semantic tag for navigation, which on your navigation, mostly what you have on your navigation in a website is your logo on the left-hand side and a link, probably your home page, your contact us page, your about us page, and any other link you have on your page, probably your blog page and the like. So here we'll be having our logo, which is going to be we use an H1 tag since we don't have a logo. A logo does not necessarily have to be an image per se. You can actually use a letter. You can actually use an H1 tag for your image, but it's just a standard practice that if you want to, your logo is something that you have built over your brand identity. Yeah. So, but we don't have a logo here. We just have something called KD, which is our logo. Then we have our navigation link, which is this. We have our URL tag. Sorry, I mentioned that HTML is not case sensitive, but it's just standard practice that you write everything in small letters. LI tag. Who can tell me what HUL is? What the UL stands for? Nobody?
Another list.
Okay, another list. That is perfect. So one thing about another list, which is basically used for your navigation list, is because you are listing an element over the time. So you just put a UL tag instead of using a div. We are basically using semantic HTML tag in this class. So, and our navigation, our UL has to link to somewhere. It has to be a UL to our home page, to our contact us page, to whatsoever page we have. It could be a blog page, about us page, services page. So our A tag here, our first link here is going to link to our home page, which is a basic, which is our index.html. And here we have home. We have our contact us page. We have contact us. Here we have about us. Here we have blog page. blog. So I would also create a page for all these elements so that we can link them to the various pages we have. We have contact.html. We have about.html. I made mention in the last class that it is just a standard practice that we have our home page being the index.html. We can actually name it home.html, but it's just a regular standard practice that the landing page of your website should be index.html. It could be your home page, or any other page can now carry the name of the page. So we have our home page is our index.html. Our contact us page is the contact.html. So here now for our contact, we change it to, we link it to our contact page, contact.html. For our about us, we link it to about.html. And for the blog, we link it to the blog.html. So let's come here and have a structure for our HTML page. I know we all know the shortcut of what I did. You just press shift and exclamation on your keyboard, and it gives you the boilerplate for HTML. Blog page. For about us page also, we do the same thing. Then for our contact, we also do the same thing for our contact. So now let's preview what we have on our live. For what we have done so far, does anyone have any question? So I can use any browser, but I prefer to use Chrome, which is the browser I love to use anytime. But you can use any kind of browser which you want, which you don't have any issues. It's still the same HTML it's still the same code that you have written on your VS Code that is also going to come out on whatever browser you're using. So we have our header already, and if you look at it here, we have our home page, which is the index.html. If we click on the contact, you can see it goes to our contact us page. We have to go back to the about us page, and we have to go to the blog page. So now, so we can be able to navigate from every page which we have. You just have to duplicate whatsoever we have here. You just have to duplicate whatsoever. We also have to copy and paste whatsoever we have here on our different pages, so that we know that we don't have to be clicking our back button every time if we navigate to a certain page. I hope everyone is following. Definitely, you can always do that, Alabi. So once I save it, and we'll always check it. Let's go to our home page. We are on the home page. We are on the about us page. We are on the contact us page, and we are on the blog page. And we are back to the home page. This is our logo. This is our navigation. And we have that's our navigation. It's not looking beautiful. Who can tell me why it's not looking beautiful? It's just a dummy page which we have there. Can you just drop it in the chat box so I know you are following? So we have our main. I said main is also is a main is a semantic HTML tag which differentiates your header from the content of your website. Though the header is the body wraps everything which is the context of your website, but an header just tells you that okay, this particular part of your website is the heading. You can actually just use an heading on, you can use header. Header is a semantic tag for it. So for our main, which is going to be where every information of our website is going to go to. This is what we have. We have an H1 tag, which is what should we write? Can anyone just tell us what should we write? I know what I want to write, but can you just okay? KodeCamp LMS website, which is this, which is what we are building today. Then we move forward to our paragraph tag, which is okay. So we have this, and let's check it out. Is what we have on the website. And for our contact, for our about us page, let's just build the index page, and we'll also have let's build a table which is going to be a timetable of our classes. Okay, when I explained in the last class, Pascal, I think it's your network. If you can't hear me, I think it's your network actually. You might just drop off the call and join him back again. I think it's your network, not. Is there any other person having issues not hearing me? Okay. Yeah, Evelyn. The reason why I'm actually using, well, I'm just giving, before I answer Evelyn's question, the reason why I'm giving space is for readability sake. If I model everything up together, it won't be readable for whoever is coming back to check my code. That is why you have to write readable code. I can always model everything up together, but it is not standard practice. It is not standard practice to model your code up all together. It is better that even if you come back next 20 years to come or next 5 months to come, you can actually read your code. The reason why I'm giving space is for readability sake. So, Hilary, hope you understand that. So, Evelyn, the reason why I'm using an header is because I am using a semantic tag informing my browser that, okay, this is the header of my page. And I'm using an H1 tag. H1 is to write. I'm using an H1 data, okay, is to signify that this is my logo. I don't have a logo yet. I'm just using this H1. The H1 is going to in your navigation, you will have a logo and your navigation links. So I'm using this H1 here as my logo. I don't have a logo here. I would go online the same way we did the last class. I'm going to go online and download KodeCamp logo so that we can have it. So let me download the KodeCamp logo so we can put the logo there. Why that is why that is coming up. Let's continue. Okay, it's up already. Okay, still loading. So Evelyn, hope you understand now. The reason why I use an H1 instead, the reason why I'm using an header and the H1. The reason why I'm using an header and the H1. Do you understand? Evelyn, can you unmute and speak if you understand? Oh, okay, all right, that's perfect. So the image is still, the website is still loading. So what next should we have? I said we are going to build a table for a timetable of our classes. Though this is just a makeshift, not the timetable of KodeCamp. I'm just going to use that as, okay, the track and the time for the classes, okay? Let's have Monday. So is there any question? If there's any question, you can always. Let's see what we have. Okay, let's download this image. Oh no. Okay, just a second. I'm going to download it now. Someone is asking a question. Please throw more light on the main. Why are you using it? Is it okay? It's just semantic. I made mention of semantic HTML tag. It's just for you to separate what you have, what you have on your website actually. The TD stands for table data. It's just a separation, nothing. Just your header, your main. That's what you have there. So did I answer your questions, Stephen? Michael David, can you unmute and speak?
I wanted to know how you duplicated that the the row.
Did you get that? Shift Alt down. Did you get that, Damlola?
Yes.
All right. Something, as I explained in the last class, main is just a semantic HTML tag. The body is where all your content goes to inside your website. While your header is to differentiate the header on your website is your navigation links, where your navigation, let me use this KodeCamp website as an example. Okay, now this is the general body of the web. Can you confirm you can see the CodeCamp website? Can you all see the CodeCamp website? Okay, this is the CodeCamp website. According to the illustration we have, this the CodeCamp logo, the H1, the home, the about, the contact, the explore, the links we have up here is an header tag in our HTML. For also knowing that everything inside it is inside the body, while this upper part is the header. From from the kickstart and develop a career in tech is the main. We can use that as the main body. Though there is an H1 here, we can say this is an H1, this is a paragraph tag, this is a button. Everything that goes into your main is still encompassing everything you have there. Though it's not showing on your website that one part is the header, one part is the main. It's just for semantic purposes embedded into your code. Hope you got that. Emmanuel, did you get that? Oh no, Samson, did you get that? Rather. Okay, all right, that's fine. So let's check what we have here. We have this. We have everything on a straight line, which is not supposed to be so. I see. Let me come in just a second. It's here, body, table data. Sorry, it should be CD, not table row. Yeah, I made the mistake while I was typing it. It should be CD, not table row. So that should solve it now. So we have it separately already. I hope you are all following. All right, so table row, and okay, we have our front end. What do we have there? We have front end. We have front end. We have back end. All the track we have in CodeCamp. Front end, back end, DevOps. DevOps, UI, UX. What other track do we have in CodeCamp? Okay, we have Flutter. Flutter is under mobile development. Let's just use mobile development. Well, Python is all under backend. So I just put it under backend. So mobile development. So let's check that. And see we have it already. So the thing here now is that we have our dates, and the next thing we have here is we need to have the date and time. Is someone okay? Please, Oroluwa, unmute and speak.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, sir, can you just click on the
I can't hear you,
about.html?
Oroluwa. Your network is breaking.
Okay, can you please just click on the about.html? I would like to know what is in the file. Like,
I
I want.
can't hear you, Oroluwa. Your network is breaking.
Okay, I will send a text then.
I can't hear you, Oroluwa. Your network is breaking. Yeah, I'm so sorry. My network kicked me out. Sorry, can you all hear me? Can you all hear?
Yes, yes.
All right, thank you. My network went off. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, Orolu, you're asking a question. What was your question, please? I didn't get that.
Yeah, I said, can you please just click on the about dot page or the about.html? I would like to see what is in there.
Oh, okay, all right. We are still going to go
Thank
back
you.
there. We are going to build the full-fledged page, actually. So this is the about the HTML page. This is what we have
No,
there.
not on the browser. I mean on the file. Like,
Oh, in
yes,
the
sir.
code. All
Yes,
right.
yes, yes.
This is what we have here. It's basically
Okay,
what we
thank,
have
thank you,
in
sir.
the page. That's what we have there.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Hilary, can you unmute and speak?
Okay, sir. Can you hear me? Sir,
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm kind of lost why you used HD and HR. Use R for the first one, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you use HD for front end UI UX, and they are line up the same way.
Yeah. I there is that I was using TD before. I said it was a mistake. I do mix it up most times. I do mix it up most of the time. So that was a mistake on my part, which I've corrected. Hope you got that, Hilary.
Sir, like I said, the first one is TR and the second one is TD. And when you run the stuff, it's still
It's
lining up
going
the.
on the same line earlier, right?
No, I didn't get the first one. I didn't see when you made the changes. I didn't see the turnout of it. But this current one now, it's lined up like straight. But it's two different tags they use, which is TD and TR. So I don't understand the TR.
This TH actually stands for table head. This TH actually stands for table head. It should actually be like this. It should actually be like this because that is going to be the heading. Your TH stands for table head. Your TH stands for table head. So did you get that now, Hilary? Your TH is the table head and your TD is the table data. It can also be the table body, which is like this, which means that your H1, your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is the days of the week. While what you have below it, which is the table data, is the courses that you're going to be taking. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, is there a question from in the chat box? All right. So, there's no question. So, let's, Hilary, you can put down your hand. So the next thing, we have our time. Um, we have our time, which should be, it should actually come before. If there's any question, please, you can always unmute and speak, please. And you can always raise up your hand. And we have 5 to 6, 5 to 7. So, who can tell me why this is extended? Is there a reason why it is extended? Oralua, why is it extended?
Because the days of the week are the row, like they are inside the heading, like the table heading.
Okay, I don't get you. Can you explain better?
Okay. We are creating a table, and for
Yeah.
that the table is having a heading, like the heading is the days of the week.
Yeah.
So we are using table row, like we are using table head for the heading instead of using table data. It is the
Yeah.
head. So that is
Yeah.
why whenever we input any data, it has to fill in like the space of the heading. Like it has to, how will I put it? Like
Okay, I get you. This table head is defining the this table head is the head. So anything coming under it is attached to that head. If I get what you're saying.
yes, exactly. Thank you.
Okay, so because this mobile data is having more space, it's taking up more space. That is why the width is being extended. Collins, is it Collins? Godson, can you unmute and speak? Okay, Godson has dropped down his hand. Okay, Godson, go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel why it's extended is because the number of spaces um, that is that you have in the first row and in the last one, the number of spaces differs. The second one has more space, but it has more data compared to the first one and the third one.
Okay, all right. So I will just add, I will just do a little, how will I call it? I just do a little um, style here so that we can all see it, that we can define the width properly. So, so this is what we have now. Can you see it properly now? Each one of them is occupying, okay, on Monday, we all know that on Monday we have front-end development 9 to 10. That's the way all our classes span throughout the week. So that is our table. Then we have to have an image. I don't know. We need an image here. Or what do you think should be on the front page of our website again? Yeah, Steven. Steven, go ahead.
Okay, my question is, go back to that your output in your Chrome.
Yeah, what's it?
Can front end come before the time, like Monday, front end time, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m.?
Definitely it can come before it. I'll just change the way it is.
Good.
Come before in what sense? Just like this. If you are saying something like this. Someone is raising up their hand. Michael. Oh, Damilola, you have to put F in front of your name so that I can know you're a female. All right, that's fine. Damilola, go ahead and speak, please.
All right, I just want to get to see the code you used to style that table.
Okay. I just gave it a simple styling, which is I gave it a width of 100% and a border around the text to the left and a padding. That's what I just did. It is just this. So it's just the basic style, which we shouldn't worry about because we'll be definitely going into CSS properly. So let's also check what's on CodeCamp website. And Samson, sorry, go ahead. Okay, we have our sponsors.
Sorry. On some tables, you have cases where you have two columns, or let's say a row, or two rows rather, where they are merged. So how do you?
Occupying two
Or-
columns, right?
Yes, merging two columns.
Front end is occupying is also on Monday and Tuesday.
Yes, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so there's something in table called call span and row span. This is call span. Call span. If I do call span 2, it's going to span into Tuesday, which is this. It has spanned into Tuesday already. That's what's called. You do call span and row span. If you want to make it, if you want it to take up two sizes, you use a call span. If you want it to take a row, you do something called row span. Did you get that?
Yes.
Okay, row span 2 is going to occupy both up and down. That is it. You can see it's only on Friday. It's just occupying it. That's what you use the call span and the row span for. Let's write. We have something on the front end there, which is let's write our sponsor. There is a message for me. Okay, thank you. All right, let's write our sponsor. Let's use an H2 tag. Sponsor. Let's use a P tag. So those are our sponsors. We are going to get their images. Let me also get their images. Let me just download their images. Images. I'm already downloading the images already. So we can, once it's downloaded, we can always see it. I'll just add it directly to the page. So is there any question so far? Yeah, sorry, please confirm you can hear me. I don't know, my network is just going off and coming. Please confirm you
Yeah, I
can hear
can
me.
hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Kindness, please can you unmute and speak?
Okay,
Kindness,
good evening. Can you hear me, please?
yeah, I can hear you, please.
Okay, I want to know the list of the sponsors. Yeah, when you launched it on your browser, it's showing that it's on bold, but in your code, it is in H4. The header tag is in H4. Why is it bold when there is no bold tag or strong?
Okay. If you are using anything H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, their default setting according to it is that they are going to be bold. Is when you are not, they stand for heading. That's why if you were in the first class, I made mention of heading 1 to 6. What they are going to be bold, but their sizes are going to be different. Let's make use of heading 6. Let's make use of heading 6 here now. H6 rather. I'm saying heading 6. H6. If you can see this, you will see that H6 is also bold, but the size is just small. Can you
Okay.
see it? So
Yes. Yes.
it's not based on probably using a bold. The default styling for your H1 tag and the likes is they are defaultly bold. Steven, your
Thank you.
answer is you're welcome.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Hilary, sorry, your hand is raised.
Yes, sir. So I'm still very much confused, or I'm not getting that table um so well. The normal table that was sent. If you want to create the normal table, that the normal code camp table that was sent to the Discord, I'm trying to use my head to wrap around how I will use the table element to build it, but it's complex. It's just confusing me. I don't know. Is
The
that
one that was sent to, sorry, the one that was sent on the CodeCamp channel was a Wednesday, you have a Wednesday first, Monday, you have the classes and the time in front of it, actually. Okay, if you want to, okay, that is the normal, okay, let's look at our normal school timetable, for example. You know, when we go to school back then in secondary school, you have Monday on the left hand side and you have the time at the top.
straight? Yes, time up, straight like
Yeah,
slash, the subject in between the
yeah,
date. Yes, just like a graph.
yes. So with this now, if you want to build it in your HTML with HTML, your left hand side is going to have your this part. Let's do it. This is it. Let me remove this. Let me remove this call span that is spanning into. You would have Monday. Let me. On Monday we have Monday, Tuesday. Okay. Then at this part here, we would have Tuesday, TH for Tuesday. So that is going to be on the left hand side. Tuesday. At this part also. Sorry, who is that? Can you? Please don't let us unmute our mic. Others might be using headcount and it's going to be disturbing them. So let's have our Wednesday here. So we come here to our Tuesday here. We have our TD. Tuesday we have backend. Wednesday we have DevOps. You can see it now. You can see now we have our Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday by the side of it. Can you see that, Stephen? So for every row you are going to be creating, you are going to be having your this thing beside it. So let's just finish that up so that I don't confuse. Let me just finish that up. So you can see the normal table we have all across board. The normal table you know, which everybody knows also. So let's do this. We now have our on Monday. Let's have another one up here. Yeah. Can you see that we have the day of the week on the left hand side and the time at the top? Hope you are not confused again, David. Was it okay? It was Stephen that Stephen.
No, it's
Yes.
David. It's David.
Oh, Hilary. It was Hilary that asked that question. Sorry, sorry for the mistake. Hilary. Hope you now get it now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I now get it, sir.
So you just have to put each row has to have an heading, and you have to have the TD like that. So hope you are no longer confused. Can we go ahead?
Yes, sir. You can go ahead. I'll complete the rest with my head.
All right. So let's now download all these images. Let's download these images and see. Okay, save as. So we also have CodeCamp. Let's save the image. But let's also download this. So let's now have it inside our code back here. Stanley, you can unmute and speak. Let me just copy this into our code. Stanley, you can unmute and speak while I do this.
Okay. Yeah. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, good morning, Stanley. I'm listening to you. I am done with what I'm doing. So, yeah? Stanley, if you are speaking, no one can hear you.
I wanted to say this is the image this is the image section. Yeah. Okay. To bring up images into our this section that you want to add to that. Thank you.
Oh, your network is fluctuating. I can't hear you. You can probably type it in the chat box so we can actually see it. I can't hear you. So you can see now that I added the image. Now, if we check it, you will see that our image is on the website, which is this. You can see we have the KodeCamp logo here, and our header is below it. So it's with CSS, you can actually style it to make it look like what we have on our website. So let's also have the logo of our sponsors right here. So I'm going to do something so I can group them together. I'm going to use a div. I'm going to use a div. I don't want to use a section because I can actually use a section, but well, it's based on preference. I prefer using div. Who knows why I don't want to copy the link from the website? Like I don't want to use the link part, which we tried the last time. Samson, unmute and speak, please.
Yeah, the reason is that there will be a time where the image is deleted from the website and then you won't be able to access it again. So it's very important that you have it locally on your own system so that it can be there consistently.
Okay, that's actually the right answer. Not necessarily, don't use the word local machine because you would just say in your code base, just say you have it locally in your code base. If you are saying local machine, what if you upload the website, what if you upload your website on a server and the image is still in your local machine? Just say you have it inside your code base. It's actually inside my code base, not inside on my local machine. Yeah, Femi Ogunwale, please unmute and speak while I complete this.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
So I have a question. Why are we putting dot slash before the source attributes on the image?
Okay.
Is it necessary a must we put it?
Well, it's not a must that you put it, but the reason I'm putting it is because one, I am taking a step. This means that you are taking a step out of your index.html into, okay, now I am inside, how will I put it? I am inside room A and I want to pick something inside room B. I can also be inside room A and stretch my hand and pick something in room B. Why? Because there is a wall. Your index.html is a file on its own, while whatsoever you are putting a dot slash, the dot in front of it is you are telling your code that okay, this dot, I am moving out of this file. I am going outside to the next file to pick this thing, which is here, so that I can always use it. Femi, do you understand?
Yes, sir. So I have another question, sir.
All right.
So what if we put the images up into a folder called an images? You have to put the dot slash images
Yes, you have to do
and
it.
the
Let's do that. If I move everything into this place, into my images folder, if I move it here, I'm just going to do the same thing, which is going to be this. I can just do dot slash, or I do this dot slash. You can see my images folder slash sponsor 2. That is it. Do you get it now, Femi?
yes, I understand. I understand.
Okay. Steven, your hand is up. Do you have a question?
Yes, my question is, do you have this CodeCamp logo with you before? Just downloaded it now, and downloaded another
I just
logo.
downloaded it from the website. Is that your question?
Yes, I would like to say I did that, please.
Jibril, I will kick you out of this call because you are writing on my screen. Let this be your last warning.
Please, I would like to say I did that, please. Sorry.
What did you say, Steven?
I would like to say I downloaded the CodeCamp. Sorry.
Okay. Just go to the browser. Just go to any logo you want. Just right click. You will see an option called save image as. And once you click save image as, you change the name if you want to change the name. Once you click done, once you download it, that is it. Do you get?
Yes.
You
Yes.
can see that I have it here already. If I change the name to CodeCamp, it's saved already.
Thank you.
Well, you just have to extract it. What is the consequence of adding the image directly when you have it inside a folder? It's the reason why there's no consequence actually. The reason why you have it inside your folder is for you to know that no matter how, the image cannot change unless you single-handedly delete it yourself. That is when the image can change. Did you get that? Who asked that question? Samson, did you get that? The reason why the image is inside the folder is because no matter what, you know that you have it already. It's not like, okay, I need biscuit, is in the market. If the biscuit finishes, what is the difference? Using single D for each element, can you put it side by side? Well, I don't get your question. Using single D for each element, for each image, how can we put them side by side? Okay, if we eventually want to put it side by side, that is where your CSS comes in. That's where your CSS comes in. So I hope you get that now. So let's check what we have now, because we have to go to our contact form and see our HNG is not showing. Let me check why HNG is not showing. Who can tell me why HNG is not showing? Can anyone tell me why HNG is not showing? Can anyone look at the code and tell me why the HNG image is not showing? Femi.
I think because you didn't get it from the folder.
Yeah, that's the actual cause. If the image is not inside if you are not getting it, this is how it's going to show. And the reason why I have this HNG here, it is because I gave it an alt text of image. So anywhere it is, if the image is not going to show on any browser, this is what it's going to show. So we have that already. So let me make that correction. So we see our images slash, and we have it. So let's have for, this should be 1. And let's have for CodeCamp also. I don't have the image for Flutter Wave, so we won't be adding that. So I didn't finish it up. Slash console two. So we can see now that we have all our images right there, and I can increase the width of the image same way we have it. I can do this with 200 pixel and height 200 pixel, which is going to change the width and the height. Can you see? Abdul Karim, please can you unmute and speak?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir. Say that place that instead of writing that image before this thing, can we use dots to access the image directly from the folder, like using
Well,
dot?
the reason why you are going to use a dot is going to be because your index.html is going to be inside a folder. So you are telling your code that, okay, move out of this file, then out of this folder. That's why you have. If you do something like this, if you do, let's try it. If you do a dot slash, you can see it has taken me out of my project folder finally. That's taking me out of my project folder already. So if my HTML file is inside a folder and I do a dot slash, then it's going to take me out of my HTML file into the next folder I want. So because it's not inside a folder, I just have it, and my HTML is just a file, so I just have this. So I can see the next file that is above it. Hope you understand now.
Yes, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Please, sorry, could you take it again? I'm a bit confused on that, please. Sorry.
Okay. I said that, okay, now you have the way we access the way we access this image is that we have a dot slash images slash sponsor one. So now Karim was saying that can we do something like this? src dot slash. If you do a dot, the reason why you can do a dot slash is going to be that your index.html is inside a folder. So you are stepping out of your index.html, you are stepping out of that folder into another place. So now, for this part, I have dot slash, which is taking me out of my project folder entirely. My project folder is the name of my project folder is HTML class. By the time I did a dot slash, it was taking me out of that project folder into my computer itself, where this folder is located. Hope you understand now. But because my image folder is inside the project folder I'm working on, I just do a dot slash and I have it here, images, and I go into the images and I pick the particular image I want. Do you get it?
Yes. Thank you very much. Understood.
Yeah. So, is there any question in the chat box? Sir, how do we convert an image? You think once you download an image as a zip file, you have to extract it. The moment you extract it, you would see either extract it into that project into a different folder. You either extract it into a different folder, or you extract it into that particular folder that you have, and you now check the images. So I don't know if you are extracting it properly or not, but if you are not, you can check that after the class. So let's continue. We don't have the image for Flutter Wave. So the next thing we want to do now is let's have our footer. This is our footer. We just say most times footer also do have logos on the right hand side. We can just have our CodeCamp logo here again. CodeCamp is sponsored to, oh, not this sponsored to. We have our logo, just slash logo, just slash our logo.svg. So and we can now have our copyright, which is, we can use a H6, which is not readable. One reason for H6 is use H6 because your is not an important details for your users to see, which you just do copyright 2024. If we check it, we have it right here. You can see that we have our copyright, which is always at the bottom of the page. So now let's now build our contact us page. So for your contact us page, when you go to a website, what do you see on your contact us page? Can anyone tell me the things you see on the contact us page? Yes, you can actually use an emphasis, an and a copy for that. Let's try that out. Let's do this. Let's go back to our home page. You can see we have a C, that's the short form. Instead of you writing the copyright, you just have a C there, and it also stands for copyright. Yeah, so you have the phone number, the email, and okay. So let's do the form which we use to contact us. So contact us. Okay, let's have, the first thing you have to do is you have to have a form which is going to wrap everything together. And inside your form, you basically, you know, I mentioned input field in the last class. So we have something called label, let's say first name, let's say full name. And we have something called for. This for is basically if you want to send it to your server. That's when you have a server that you want to send it to for processing. Let's do full name. Let's just write a short form, F name, and let's have our input field. Text, placeholder. Who can tell me what a placeholder is? I know my students have been researching a lot. No one knows what a placeholder is. Okay, Fem, what's a placeholder?
A placeholder is what will be like a default text that will be there.
If we say a default text, if I now want to write inside it, will the placeholder still remain or goes away? If a placeholder is there, like I have there's a placeholder there, and I want to write my own name inside the input field. With the placeholder, the default text I wrote there, will it go away, or it's still going to remain inside the input field?
No, the placeholder is just there as a default text. If you write your own text, it will not clear away.
If I write my own text, it's not going to clear away.
If you write your own
said?
text, what I think is that it won't clear away, since it will, like, it's going to be like something just at the background. It's going to just be highlighted a bit.
Well, it's going to go away. Let's check it out. So let's check it out. Let's go to our contact us page. You can see now. Oh, okay, I didn't write. So yeah, so who can tell me why everything is on a straight line? Why is not on the next line? Femi, why?
Because of it's an inline element.
Yeah, Steven, it's not because there is no a break tag. It's just because it's an inline element. And what an inline element does is they occupy just the width of their element. So that's what it does. So if we want it to be on the next line, the next thing we just have to do is we put a break tag. Put a break tag here. By the time you put a break tag here, everything it comes down. So let's have email, full name, email, and phone number. Let's have our phone number. Let's have our phone number here also. Yeah, so we can see that we have our name. If I click on this, you can see the placeholder Femi. Once you are writing, the moment you begin to write your first letter inside your elements, inside your input field, the placeholder goes away. The placeholder goes away instantly. So that's it. And you see that the moment it's empty, the placeholder comes back there. Femi, hope you got the clarity that the moment a placeholder is just a temporary element. And at the moment you start writing inside your input field, it goes away. Do you get that?
Yes, I do, sir.
All right, so let's now, there are two kinds of button. The default kind of button for a form is submit. Okay, let's do a button CYPE. But there are different types. You can see reset, submit. Let's do type of submit and let's do submit. And let's also have a reset button. Let's also have a reset button now. Let's have a reset button. As the name implies, reset. This is what it's going to do. The moment I click on it, let me write something here. The moment I click on it, it resets. And the moment I click on submit, what it does is it submits my form if I have anything there. So there are two kinds of submit which I want you to know. There's a get and there's a post. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Can you unmute and speak? Can you unmute and speak?
Hello. Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, please. It's just a quick question that I want to ask. I've noticed that when I look at some materials online, I've noticed that when people write your label, if you look at the one for your name, you write for F name. I also noticed that when people want to now do the inputs, they use something like ID. then
Yeah.
they now assign it to also the F name. I don't know if that's a good practice or it's a bad practice. If you
It's
could throw
actually a
more
good
light out.
It's actually a good practice. The reason they do that is because let's do it. Let me show you. The reason they actually do that is basically if you click on your email, the input field automatically becomes active. But if you see, I don't have an ID on my name. So when I click on this, you can see that my full the input field of my full name does not have anything. It's not being highlighted. Do you understand now? That's one of the major reasons why people do that. For my email, the moment I click on email, on the email label, the input field in front of it has a cursor which is focusing that okay, yes, this is what you want to do. Do you get it?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So I was saying that there are two kinds of method there are basically different kind of method, but there are two kind of method. There are two major type of method which you use, which is the get and the post. I will start with the get, for example. The get, for example, is an unsecure way while using a form. The reason being that is because if you have a password, let me show you now. With this, I have a get right here. Can you take a closer look at my URL link? You will see if I submit now. Why is this? Method of get post and post. So for my post, it's telling me that it's not going anywhere, which is supposed to actually lead somewhere. That is for posting. That means you're telling your server that okay, once I am done with this, so let it link me to a different page entirely. That is what the post is for. Do you get do you understand what I said there?
No, sir.
Okay. What I said is that okay now, eventually when you have filled the form, what is the next thing you have to do? You have to send it to a server. You have to send it to a database where it's going to be processed, or you are going to send the information. You are going to send the information somewhere, right? Do you understand that? So the next thing you have to do is, if this form is actually, you are processing this form, this is going to be a link to somewhere actually. It's going to be like, let's do something like action equals action dot php. So if you do this and I submit the form, so this is it. Let's try this. Let me fill this and I have submit. You can see it's supposed to link to action.php, which is probably my server. So there's no page called action.php. That is why your action button is supposed to link to your database wherever you want to store the form or somewhere. That is what the action button does. So let me now show you why I was telling you that the get and the post, they are different. The get is not a secure way actually. This is it. So if I do this for my get and I submit it, let's go back. And I submit. How am I still getting a post? Let me remove the action, sorry. So now, if I submit, it's submitting. But in most cases, it would actually show you the name of the person right on your screen here. At this URL tab here, it's going to show you the name of the person and every other thing that is the user entered into the field. Is anyone confused about what I just explained? Okay. Abigail, when I mentioned that I added the ID and the label, is basically for me to be able to auto focus my elements. Okay, now once I click on the email, you can see that I just have a label tag of email here. And the moment I click on email, the input field becomes focused and there's a cursor blinking inside. Check it, look at my full name. Once I click on the full name, my input field is not auto filled. My input field is not having the focus as when I click on the label of my email. That's basically the reason why you have that. That's basically the reason why you have that's basically the reason I did this label for email and F-name. That's why I did it. Do you understand that, Abigail? Femi, your hand is raised.
So please, can you come again? I don't understand when you explain about our label.
About?
You're explaining that focus on the label and focus on something. I didn't get that.
Okay. If you look at this part now, you can see that I have on this my label, I have for email, which is telling my browser on the back end that this label is attached to this email. Take a look at this first name. I don't have an ID attached to it. So once I come to my browser and I just click on first name, my input field does not have autofocus unless I click exactly inside the input field before I can get that focus. But take a look at my email. Once I click on the label of my email, once I click on it, I have that focus automatically on my input field because that is what the label for is done. I am attaching it that okay, this label I have up here. It's just like you tagging stuff. On inside your bag, you would tag your book with your name, identify that okay, this book is my own. Though we are in the same class, this particular element is for me. Do you get that? Do you get that, Femi?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think I have. Does anyone have any question? There's a question in the chat box. All right. I should re-explain. What should I re-explain actually? Adio, you can unmute and speak. Adio, can you unmute and speak? Before Adio, Jane, can you speak?
Okay, yeah, thank you, sir. You know, there are some websites you go to, they will tell you, okay, this particular field like is mandatory, you have to fill it. Is there a
Yeah.
particular code that is responsible for that?
Yes. Once you come to this, you just have to add a required element, something called required. If I add required here now, let's try this out. Required. And I come to my browser here. and I submit, you can see it's not going to submit. There's a pop-up here telling me that please fill this field. If I fill this field, I enter my name, I come here, I enter my phone number, but I skipped my email address. I didn't enter my email address, and I click on submit. It's telling me that this field is required. And there's another thing about the email. If I do this, you can see it's already telling me that please include an at in this email address. AAA AAA is missing an at. That is basically what there are some validation that your type does. This type that you had here, this type, this type I have here, there are some validation it does to your code. Hope you understand that, Jane.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, I understand.
Paul, your hand is raised. The Paul that your hand is raised, can you admit and speak?
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Which of the Paul is speaking, please?
Paul Ara something. Aragha.
Araga.
Yeah, Araga.
All
Can
right.
you
Yes, I have 3 questions. Yes,
all
that's
right, go ahead.
from. Okay. My question, the first question I want to ask is, is it a good practice to have the image folder in your file, whatever file you're working with, so that your folder will be neat? Or when the project you are doing is not that large, can you just keep the image there? Or it's a good practice to always have an image folder? That's my first question. Then the second question is, what is the appropriate IMG dimension, that is image dimension, for either maybe like a figure post, or so that it will not, your image will not be blurred, or your image will not look, because if you look at our homepage here, you will see that KodeCamp that you resize is looking somehow, like it's looking blur, or it's not looking sharp. You get? So I was just trying to, yeah, looking straight. So I was just asking, is there a particular appropriate IMG dimension, that pixel that you must use, so that your image will be sharp? Then the next question is that can you please re-emphasize on the get button? You actually told us about the post, which was actually well explained, but the get, I did not really understand it. Thank you.
Okay, for your first question, it is a standard practice everywhere that whenever you have an image, your image is not scattered around inside your project folder. You have a folder called images folder, so that you know that okay, all my images I'm using on this website, I have it inside this folder. Not that you have some images outside your images folder, you have some inside your images folder. That is one of the standard. It's just a standard practice, because along the line you are not going to be the only one that is going to work on the code base. There are other people that are going to work on the code base. So having image scattered around is not a good practice of writing code. Hope I answered the question, Paul.
Yes, sir. Yes. You've answered the first one.
Your second question about what was the second question? Sorry,
The second question was about the appropriate IMG dimension that would not stretch
your appropriate IMG dimension is based on your UI UX designer. You can see that the image we have here is the image we added. Let's go back to our home page. You can see that the image we have here is perfect. The image you have here is actually perfect. I was the one that added a different size to it. In some cases, by the time you are working on a project, you probably have a UI UX designer. The picture a photographer gives you might be the standard size you want, the standard size your client wants. So there's no per se standard size like that. It's based on the design you are working with. That's going to be your standard size. And for the third question, which is about the search, which is about the get and the post. For the get is just for you to get information. Okay, now let's on your browser, if you go to, let's use Jumia for example now. If you click on the Jumia search, if you search something on using the Jumia input field for search, if you check your URL at the top, you would see some link. What you search is going to be inside the link actually. Have you noticed that?
Yes, I've seen it. I've noticed that.
Yeah. That's what get does actually. It's just going to take the information you have inputted and pass it into your link to give you majorly they use it for search. They use it majorly for search always. If you want to search for something, just use a search, a get method on your form, and you are good to go. Because by the time it's going to search, that means you have to attach it to somewhere. You have to attach it to an endpoint. You have to attach it to an external site where you're searching from, or something internal in your folder that is searching for. Do you understand that, Paul?
Yes. Thank you for answering all the questions. I'm okay.
All right. So we're creating this. So whenever you submit your form, it goes either directly to the email. There's something called you just send directly to your user's email, and let's add phone number. Without phone number, after adding your phone number, there should be a text the reason for your message. You can either use an input field or use a text area. Let's have a label. That's for your message. Your message. So let's write message here, and also message. So let's check it out. You can see I have an input field for my message here, which is basically once I enter my message here and I input this and I send it, you can see everything goes directly to wherever I'm sending it to. So I think I've seen a particular use case for that get. So I need to add something to my listing. So it's name equals phone. Here is also name equals email. And name equals fname. Name equals fname. So let me now show you a use case of this get. So now I enter all this, I come here and I enter this also, and I submit it. Can you see my URL? Can you see my URL? Can you see my URL here now? You can see that the name I entered here. Sir, for the reset button and the submit button, why are you using an input field and not a button tag? Yeah, you can use a button tag is just the standard practice actually. Let me change it to a button tag. Yeah, that is the reason for the get. But if it's the post, let me answer your question when I started that. Sorry. Afolabi, how can you reset numbers of word in the text area? You can restrict it by adding a mean length, which is, let's do 20, or a max length which is 50. Let's change this to a button. Sorry. So, did you get that? Who was asking that question? Someone asked the question just now. Okay. You can either use anyone. So far, you have the type. You can either use a button, but the standard practice is just a button. I'm just showing you the different ways of doing it. You can either use an input and change the type to either reset or submit. It's going to indicate that this is a button, or you use a button tag. So, Abigail, kindly answer, kindly unmute and speak.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry, sir, to take you back a bit. You know, when we are talking about the form, you added require, and when the require is added and the form is filled, then there is a default message. I just want to ask, can that default message be changed by the programmer? Like as we are doing, can we change the default message? Can the
Yes.
default message be sent?
Yeah, you can change the default message. That is where you use JavaScript.
So how do we go about that, please, sir?
When we get to JavaScript, we'll talk about that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. You're welcome. Someone has a question in the chat box. That is FCBA. Can you hear me and speak?
Is it
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
I called FCBA. Who is unmuting?
Yes. Can you hear me, sir? I'm the one.
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, FCBA. Go ahead.
Yes. So when you use that required stuff for to make sure that it must be filled, it brought out a message if you don't fill it, like a default message. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
So is there a way you can change that default message to like what you want?
Yeah, that's the same question Abigail asked. You can change it using JavaScript.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Rahim, ask your question.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for the lectures. I actually would need some clarification on two things. Now, on the table, when you are creating a table, the table heading, there are some instances you use th tag and th tag, as well as in the body, there are instances you use t body and t data. As in so is there any correlation? Is there similarity or differences in between? Or which one is more prevalent? That's the first question. Then the second question, I discovered that when you enter the label, the form, the form, you put a name, as in the semicolon, the comment side for the label. So the name you pick is also corresponding to the name you assign to the input name. Is that the industry standard procedures? So those are the
Yeah,
two
that's the standard practice. But that's the standard practice. You can
And
you have to
if you are,
yeah.
if you do contrary, does it have any implications on your code?
It
Maybe
doesn't have any implication on it. The only reason why you do that, as I've said, is because of this. It's autofilling, autofocus. If you click on if I don't have a name on my, I have a 4 on my label. I don't have a name on my first name. If I click on my first name, you can see my input field does not have an autofocus.
Yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah, I can see.
And if you click on my email, if I click on my email has an autofocus.
Yeah.
So it's just standard practice. Okay, for screen readers, most of the people you are accessing the web and not everybody can see. So for screen readers, people that are visually impaired, that's why we make use of those kind of tags so that your website is accessible to any kind of person, either visually impaired or someone who can see. That's just the standard practice. Do you understand that?
Yeah, clear. Yeah.
Okay, for the table body if there's no, let me not say, the table body is just a semantic tag, as I've said, to differentiate between the header and the body of your table. But in most cases, they are actually interchanged. Like you have your table head. Like if you see this one now, I have a table head which has heading, which is the date and the time, and I have a table body.
No,
I have a
no.
table body
So,
which
sorry,
is,
my question is now this table tag now we have th. In some
yeah,
instances they use thead. They write the heading in full.
in full. Yeah,
Exactly. Then also
it's
for the
just
body.
it's just like I said, from HTML4 to HTML5. It's just the change that's occurred. Even if I write it as T-head like this, it's still going to work. It's just me going back. So okay, the way it's written in HTML4, that's just it. It's not as if there's an implication. There's no implication. It's just you writing what is currently being used, industry standard. That is, I can't be taking you back to writing table head, table body when there's always a shortcut to write it. That's the same thing for an input field. An input field before now was, and there's always an opening and closing tag, but now it is now a self-closing tag, and it does not affect your code. Do you understand, Rahim?
It's clear. It's clear.
All right. Sorry, someone is up their hand. Oh, who is that? Afolabi, can you unmute and speak? Afolabi, if you are speaking, I can't hear you. Afolabi, if you are speaking, I can't hear you. Oh, forward. Okay, yeah, Adelane, yeah, I made mention of that, and though it took time, I could not go to that, so I will do that just now. Afolabi, if you are speaking, I can't hear you. We are not hearing anything, and we want to move forward. If you are ready to speak, Afolabi, if it's your network, you can just drop it in the chat box. Adebayo, do you have a question? All right, Afolabi, that's fine. So let's have a registration form also, not here. Let's also have a registration form where we are going to register. Where we are going to register. So let's have a register form, a sign up form, which is also the same way we have always been doing it. This is sign up, and we have our form. We have our form. The action is going to take you somewhere else. And we have let's use a method. Let's use a method of get. And let's add this. Let's do the same way we have done it. We have a label. When you are signing up, you have a label which is for email. You have email in front of it. In our input field, we have text, let's use email, which is we doing a validation right from our HTML. We have a placeholder, John Doe dot at gmail.com, and let's make it required. Let's have a break tag. Let's just copy this instead of duplicating. We have here for password. We also have password. And our type is password. A password does not necessarily need a placeholder. And let's also copy this, same way we have it here. Let's do for confirm password. Let's do C, let's do C, and we have confirm password. And here, let's have a checkbox. And we have, let's have a label also. Label. What should I be? Terms and conditions. So now we have to navigate to our registration page. Okay, is there a question? Okay, you want to ask about the form. Are there some where it is shows asterisk by putting it on the form? Yeah, you can actually do that by just write at your form, write at your label here. You can just add the asterisk sign. If you add the asterisk sign, it shows that this field is required. But most times we just use asterisk, but it's just the standard practice that you put this thing there. You put the required. The required is that even if they submit if they click on submit, it's going to validate from the HTML that some fields are empty. So you can't submit the form unless you fill those details. Do you understand that, Afolabi? Afolabi, did you understand? Do you understand? Afolabi? Okay, all right, that's perfect. So it's actually a standard practice for you to add the required instead of just putting an asterisk. Your user, there's something we call that you see your user as a baby, as a primary one student that cannot just decipher things by themselves. You have to think for them. So that is why most times you have to use that required symbol. So let's now navigate to our sign in to our registration form. So we have our A tag. So we have our href dot slash, where's our sign in page. So we have sign in. So let's navigate there. Let's go back home. So you can see we have all this here, and let me impute this. Oh, there's no submit button. How do we have our form without a submit button? So the next thing we have here is a submit button. Type of submit. And we have sign up. Because this is the same way you would find this is the same way you're going to see on the LMS. It's just a three-step form. And by the time you fill in all your details, and you click on the sign up button. So let's fill it. So we have a get here. My get is in small letter, which should be, let me put a break tag here. So we sign up. I have my name, I have my password, and I click on this. And you see, I click on sign up. It's telling me this field is required, and I enter it. Oh, I didn't put it as password. Why is my password visible? Okay, type of, oh, I wrote C password, which is supposed to be password. So you can't see my password. If you want to see my password, most times you would on your sign up page you will see an icon here, which once you click on it, you see the password and the likes. But you can't do that with HTML. You have to do that with JavaScript is included already. That's for functionalities. So let's click on this, and once I click on sign up, my form is gone already. So I hope everyone understood what we did. Hope is not as if there's a gray area that you want us to clear out. Any question? Any question? Yeah, our time is fast spent already. Okay, let's go.
Yes. Hello. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. I've noticed like situations where you have mostly on your nav bar, you see something like is it a div or like an input where you have to maybe put in something to search within a website. Is it is it still a form they use and method get? Maybe directing the action to maybe Google for a search. Am I right if I do such a thing?
Well, the thing is, most times if you are searching in between your website, you're either searching some data in your website or you're searching from an endpoint, which is from JavaScript. Those kind of search that you have on the header part of a navigation bar is done with JavaScript because you are getting the information from an external source. Do you understand?
If I'm getting it from an external source, that means the form and the action and method get, does that one suffice or is something else?
No, it does that does not work if you are using an external source. That does not work if you are using an external source.
Okay.
So by the time we get to JavaScript, we'll see how we do those things. So let's jump into JavaScript here.
But sorry, if I want to do such a thing, how can I resolve that issue? That is, I want to set from an external source.
You have to link, you can't do that from HTML. You have to link to another page. And HTML is just the structure. You can't search from an external source in HTML because searching is functionality. You're already making your website functional. And by that, what only does functionality in programming language is JavaScript, and any other is a programming language. Let me use that word. It's a programming language, and HTML is not a programming language. It's just the structure of the website. So trying to search for stuff on your website using the search input field without adding functionality is not going to work. Hope you understand that. Olatibosun, go ahead with your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Olatibosun, go ahead with your question.
Okay, sir. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Yeah, please. There's something I noticed on the form for the password. I don't know if you input the same password for both password and confirm password.
Okay, that is another functionalities. For that is functionalities. For you to be able to check if the password you have written in your password and the confirmed password are the same, you can't do that with HTML alone. You have to use something to check. Okay, the input field from this particular one and the second one, are they the same thing? If they are the same thing, let it pass. That is why you need JavaScript in place. Hope you understand.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So the next person, Hilary.
So the code can we get this code so we can actually play around with it, do some changes, and see how it reflects in the browser?
Okay. I'll find a way of getting the source code across. I'll find a way of getting the source code across.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Olatoye.
So I wanted to ask, can we use the min length for password?
Yeah, you
Like,
can use the main length. You can use the main length for your password.
that's what I wanted to confirm.
Yeah. You can use the main length for your password. You're just trying to okay. They should be. Let's do it. Where's the password? This is it. Main. Let's just do 5 and max. Let's do 12, 14. So let's check it out. Okay, let me enter this. Fine. Let me use the image. You can actually use, I think it's the main length, not main length. Main length. Let's check it out again. Can you see? If you use the main length, it's going to tell you need to. It has to be 6 characters, and you have 3 characters there. So that's what it's for. Hope you got that.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Abigail. No. Um. Mo, I can't pronounce your name.
Ntabiseng.
Sorry, can you pronounce it?
Ntabiseng.
Montebise.
Ntabiseng.
All right, no problem. Just go ahead. I'll discuss with you on Slack to know the proper pronunciation. Yeah, go ahead, please.
On the table side in the HTML,
Yeah.
say for instance, you wanna do a table and add pictures. Can we use the same format, like the table format, to add pictures?
Yeah, you can use the table format. It's just going to you can use it actually. The only thing you just have to point. If you use a table, then you have to add the image source. You have to use the image tag because the only way you can add an image to anything on your website is using the IMG image tag.
Okay, and then when we transfer it to the mobile device, doesn't it scramble, or do we have to go to the CSS to do it to be visible proper in the mobile devices?
Yeah, that's where CSS comes in. Whenever you're building, there's something called responsive design. That is making your device compatible, making your website compatible across all screen. That's what we call mobile responsiveness. So that's basically CSS.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Arolua.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. The sign-in form.
Yeah.
It's kind of too close. When we look at it, like the forms are too close. Like there's no space in between the forms. So how do we do that if we want to like make them more readable?
That's where CSS comes in.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's where CSS comes in. So we should actually have done introduction to CSS today, but time is fast spent. But our next class will be moving into CSS. And what we built today, what we made use of today, all these pages we built, we would be improving them. We'll be moving forward with them and improving them in the next class. So we'll style the navigation bar and make it look exactly how CodeCamp website looks like. That's what we'll be working on in the next class. So, do we all understand? So, does anyone have any question before we call it a day? Paul, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, thank you, Sabo. I really don't understand, or mine didn't work. That password, the min len and the max len. So there was a pop-up that came up on your own that you are already typing three stuff or three letters or something. So mine didn't work. I don't know why.
I used a min length and I clicked on. If you put in three alphabets, if you put in three characters, let's use three characters for example. If you put in three characters and you click on the submit button, that's when you're going to have that pop-up. But if you have 6 characters and above, and you click on the submit button, it's going to go through. Try that and you will see it. Whose hand is raised again?
Okay.
Yeah. Aurelio, you have a question again, or your hand is just still raised? Yeah, Jane, go ahead with your question. And Jane will be the last question we'll be taking for today.
Okay, so with respect to this password of a thing too, sometimes they will ask you to look for a strong password, maybe add some characters. What tags can we use to impute that?
Now,
Do you get
that comes with JavaScript. You're already making your form functional already. You're already making your form functional, trying to react to the click of every user. So that's the essence. You're trying
okay?
to check, does this password have special characters? Does it have numbers and the likes? So that is where JavaScript comes into play.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Yeah, Adilani, go ahead.
Okay, sir, please, sorry, it's concerning that icon stuff that I talked about earlier in our head element. So
Yeah,
it's really
sorry,
confusing me.
I've forgotten already, so let me just do that. Reduce. It's not working. It's not working. I think something is wrong. I will. Come in just a second. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know why it's not displaying. It should actually display. Can you, okay, Oluwafemi, can you go ahead with the question while I figure that out?
No, I was trying to say, are you trying to put the Favicon image or something?
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yes, I think you put image dot slash icon before.
I have to point to an image actually. The href, I have to point to an image. I have to point to an image, not just a random. Because an icon it can also be regarded to as an image, so that's what it is for. Okay, I got it already. Sorry, can you confirm you can still see my screen? Confirm you can still see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I can't figure out what's going on, but I can assure you before the next class I'll definitely figure that out. It should actually be like this, but I'll figure that out. Before the Adilani, I promise you by the next class I'll figure that out.
All right, sir. Copy, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Someone hand this up. Ezekiel, can you unmute and speak? Yeah, running out of
Hello,
time already.
sir. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Sir,
Your network.
sir, please, where you hello, sir. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly now.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can
sir.
hear
I
you.
said, sir,
Fine.
please, where you place the icon, I think it's supposed to be in your index page, because you were opening the file in your index page, not in your sign-in page. So I think it
Oh,
reflects where,
sorry.
if you click the
Sorry.
sign-in page to show.
I didn't know I was on my sign-in page. Thank you for spotting that out. I didn't know I was on my sign-in page actually. I thought I was on my index page. Thank you for spotting that out. Let's check it. It's still not working. I will probably figure it out. So let me just try something. Yeah, thank you. I will figure that out. Whose hand is raised? Whose hand is raised, please? If your hand is okay, Paul, can you go ahead? After Paul, then Tobichuku can go. Oh, Tobichuku, go ahead.
So I wanted to say use the link tag for the
Yeah, I used the link already and it should. I used the link already.
yes, sir.
I used the link already. So we can actually use a link. I just made use of a link and it should. So then we just have to change the type. Yeah, so hope we are all clear now and we have seen it. I figured it out already. I used a link instead of a metal, so it showed up already. So I think we are good to go. Adilani, hope you got that.
Yes, sir.
You
I
can
got
use
it.
the link
Very
while
clear.
the
Thank you.
while the main is not, why the metal, but in the next class I'll figure out the metal. Why the metal is not, because most times the metal should actually work. The metal should actually work. So it's because it's a metal tag, so it should actually work. But that's that another. So if there's no question, can we all call it a day and we meet on Friday? So just have it at the back of your mind that going forward we will be replicating what we have on CodeCamp website. We will be rebuilding as we go on with our CSS. We'll be rebuilding what we have on CodeCamp website, and I'm sure you will learn a lot with that. So thank you very much, and do have a wonderful day ahead. Yeah.